Oh man.
It's magic. Well, good
Okay.
morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, and welcome
Oh,
to the Innervision FM universe. Oh, there we go. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alan C., and this is Johnnie J., president of Innervision FM. Welcome to the Innervision FM universe. It's
yes.
9 a.m. somewhere in the world.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yes. Uh, yeah, and it says our page is unresponsive. Oh, now it's responsive. Whatever that means. We want you to share, like this, do all this kind of stuff.
Do all that kind of stuff. That's technical for it helps the algorithms to recognize and share the content appropriately the way that it thinks it needs to be shared. Speaking of sharing, sharing is caring. So share with us today because we got a fun set of topics.
Yeah, we might be kind of vague on some of them, but that's only because of the warlords of what does I say of stifling words are always out there crawling along, seeing who they can crawl into their house and say, "You can't say that."
They're just loving individuals, better than parents because they have ultimate power.
Yeah, and
Um,
if you want to see the outlines of the topics, you can email me at info@innovationfm.com. Just remind me what show because I have so many shows we do in 2020 so far. You have to tell
that's a
me
good idea.
put in the topic what show, and I save all those the topics of the shows. So so just let me know. Yeah, and what year? Because I have 2021 and then 2022,
Wow,
and
that's a good idea, Johnny. So yeah, we got everything pretty much archived and ready to
oh yeah,
go. It's in the can, as it were,
oh
and
yeah,
just ready to break out for future use or what do you call that?
hmm, yeah,
Historical reference.
yeah. Now let me give you like the headlines, but we're not getting. We'll pick one topic. Okay, headlines is about. Um, we talked about Florida yesterday and not knowing what a four-way stop is. Some people not knowing, but today we're going to talk about looters and DeSantis' advice to them. Then, oh, maybe I should go over here to my list. So I don't have to guess. Okay, okay, well, okay. Now, and we're going to talk about the peeing habits of a gentleman on his ex-wife gravesite.
Oh, that sounds. It's almost Halloween, so I guess that covers the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And we're going to talk about furries and what are they?
Furries. Oh
Yeah,
wow, I got a story about furries.
yeah. And then let's see, and what else? Oh, Melissa Flemings and her her in her mind she thinks that she is the czar of the climate change and she's also the czar of Google and she could tell Google what to put in the search engine and what to block.
Does she belong to the UN somewhere?
Yeah, yes, she does. So those are the topics. We want you to stay tuned because we're going to cover those topics, and we want you to add your. Now, if you want to be a part of this, info at Innovision FM. If you want to be a part of any of the future ones, just in case if I don't see your email come in, info at innovationfm.com, and we'll definitely add you to the email list as we send out the announcements for people that want to be a part of some of these topics. Right? And we'd like to thank our sponsors also. Uh, Now, we're going to have to sort of like pause on Eeny, Meeny, Grant because they sent me an email saying, well, because of some kind of red tape, we haven't been able to send out the checks yet, but we'll get back with you. And I'm saying, oh man, government, government, government. And I know some nonprofits they brag. They say we're not government funded at all, right? And then okay, I can't say that. because I did accept some what was it, PPP stuff and other stuff like that. But
It's an interesting time we live in.
yeah, but as far as private, Dr. Richard Damiano, corneal eye consultant. Oh, my wife is going somewhere, and I wonder if she's going to pick up some breakfast. But anyway, I won't worry about that. And Christian Brothers Moving Company, which they move
Right.
you all over, from Phoenix to Texas to Colorado. They have locations, and then Denver Foundation, Wells Fargo, and then the Denver. I keep forgetting that one. Denver,
Colorado Arts Relief Fund.
Colorado Arts Relief Fund. So, like I said, and we can't talk about the eeny, meeny, miny yet. and today I'm going to interview. If you want to be a part of the interview today, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to interview this grant writer that we're going to apply for a $3 million grant. And
You brought your PayPal into this as well.
oh
You know,
yes, until we get that $3 million grant, we can use your donations through PayPal.me/InnervisionDenver. That's PayPal.me/InnervisionDenver. Because she's going to get some guaranteed hourly money, but it's no guarantee that we're going to get that guaranteed $3 million. I had a dream about
well,
it 3 years ago, but hey,
well, here's the bottom line. Why do people want to donate to this cause? Everybody needs music. It makes us happy. And there's never been a better time or a more easy time to pump out some really good music out there. Instead of the stuff that's out there these days, we actually, the recording artists, have the power within our hands to create our own music and actually produce it, because the software allows for us to do so, provided that we jump through all the hoops and buy the commercial versions of the software and this kind of thing. We retain the rights of the stuff we create. Even in some cases, we don't even get full, but yeah, whatever. It's a lot easier these days to promote your own music, and that's what we do with Innervision FM. So we want to be transparent with some of the projects, but the main thing is we're involved with the local level. Music does that. It allows for people to step out of whatever their situation is and be told a story through music, whether it has words or not. It's important. It speaks to our soul. So we help out folks who are physically disabled or otherwise financially challenged, or both, this kind of thing. So that's why you want to help. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and during while you were just saying that, I got 2 emails. One saying that you're sitting on a pile of cash, which these are the companies that they keep coming at me saying, "Do you want a loan? We'll give you a loan at 5% interest and 6%."
Right.
And I keep telling them I can get a grant with no interest on it.
No. The grants dry up, the loans dry up. It's what we do with the stuff that matters, and that's the idea, is living with the things that we have. It's not living on the backs of other folks. It's making a living and having a livelihood.
And then I just got one from high resolution business cards. Man, so they're always coming at me, and then so many things that you need as a business running and so forth. We have to pay like our distributor, which is DistroKid. And matter of fact, I just transferred all that stuff from TuneCore to DistroKid, and they are still claiming copyright things on our music, even though we took them, and they're still getting royalties. So I wonder if those songs are still up on YouTube, like Hollow Stream. That was our latest one. Blade by Fingers T. That was our latest copyright. Watch out, and so they are. it's just kind of interesting that they don't want to let you go once you decided. Well, I want to go over here, and now TuneCore is doing the same thing that DistroKid is doing, offering saying once a year they'll charge you one single price, and not keep charging you crazy prices for singles and albums. And so now they saw the writing on the wall and said, we got to do what DistroKid is because people are leaving us for DistroKid. But I'm not going to go back to TuneCore because I like it right here. It's nice here. So
It may
anyway,
be interesting to get a multifaceted sort of situation where you're got a multiple income stream going. So,
oh yeah,
if you're not going to give up the rights, it
yeah,
may be beneficial to go back and also retain rights on DistroKid. It allows for multiple income streams to be made available to the recording artist.
yeah,
So it does allow for choice. I
oh
don't know.
yeah,
It's up to you. It's your
oh
biz.
yeah.
Hey, where do we want to go from here?
You know what? Since it's the 40-year anniversary of CDs, let's talk about
Yeah.
CDs
Wow.
for a minute.
Well, check this out. I got a quick story, and I'll leave it on to you. This
Okay.
guy showed up to my house, and he says, "There's this new indestructible medium that basically all music is going to be stored on. You can put pictures on here. You can smash a bunch of computer things on here and put them all on there, and you can put all this stuff."
Hmm.
And he sailed it right through a piece of drywall. And he
Hmm.
put it back into the CD player. Lo and behold, it played. I mean, for a second. He didn't allow it to play for very long. Obviously, it was all scratched up and damaged. But
Hmm.
he's just like, look, it plays. It still plays. And it's like, you didn't let it finish playing. But anyway, I mean, he built this thing as an indestructible way to
Hmm.
store music. Very compact.
Yeah, that's what they call it, compact CDs. Yeah. Now I tell you, I heard about some kind of advertisement on the radio station, and they wanted us to come out to the. There used to be a place called Food for the Pudding, which I don't know if it even exists anymore. But Food for the Pudding, and they were going to demonstrate this new CD that was going to replace albums and cassettes and 8 tracks. I think 8 tracks were almost on the way out, but still some people had 8 tracks, and and so and so me and my sister we went. And we were sitting in the back, because it's like we figured like maybe there'd probably be reserved seats in the front, but it was so many people there. I think it was like maybe 30 people there, or whatever. And so this guy came back and said, "Hey, you guys don't have to sit way back here. Come on to the front." So I grabbed a hold of his wing and we went like to the front. I guess I don't know. I guess they were videotaping this as well, so they needed people in the front and not in the back, because if you're videotaping, you want to see an audience, right?
Right.
So then they had these guys, 5 guys, come out, and they were, I don't know if they were Scottish singers, but they were a cappella. They were singing some kind of
Now,
epic type of song. I don't know if it was Scottish or something to that effect. And
nice.
so they were singing, and then they walked off the stage, and their voices were still singing. And this is to show that how clear the CD sound was.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so that was my first remembrance of CDs, and I'm not even sure what year that was. Well, it was 40 years ago.
Right.
Well, I don't know if I got in on the first run, but this was out there, and if me and my sister went, I wasn't married at the time, so go figure. Because I would have went with with my ex-wife or someone like that, but I was with my sister. So this is during the time I was still single, somewhat. And I remember I was working for this country western bar called the Gold Nugget, and I convinced my boss to pay me to put her music albums on CD. And so she paid me, I think, $200 to do this. And I just took I'm not sure, was I taking 45s or albums? I was taking all kinds of things home and just transfer them to CD, you know, labeling them, and then bringing them back to the club because this is the next thing. And
Right.
so got some good money, but it was slow because you have to do it in real time,
Right.
right? So I remember like getting paid for doing that, and that was like 98, I think, 98.
Wow.
So that was cool, making a little bit of money off of that. And then I remember now that I remember I brought in the CD and I put a plastic label on it, which you should never do with the CD. Now people know this now. I put a plastic barrel label on it, and it got stuck in the CD player.
Absolutely.
And so she got one of her mechanics to come up and get it out, and then she gave me back the CD that got stuck in there, and she had broke it in pieces.
Like, here you go, souvenir for you. And I'll
Yeah,
tell you, CDs are great, man. They were the next biggest thing, and I kind of wish that I would have kept them because they're hard to get these days.
you got rid of them?
Yeah, yeah, I got rid of a bunch of my CDs when I moved and stuff. I just figured, well, I don't have a CD player, and computers used to have the CD-ROM type of thing, where you could still play stuff, but they
I have
got rid
one.
of those, obviously.
Well, yeah, I got one computer from 2018, and I guess I could have got my new laptop with that, but I decided not to, which makes it very thin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you get rid of a lot of good things in favor of a thinner
Techno.
laptop or a
Yeah.
technology that works just as well. The problem being is now everything is stored on the cloud. So if you lose your password, you have to reset the thing. And I mean, it's supposed to make our lives easier, but it does tend to keep us on our toes. I'll tell you that.
Now, my brother-in-law a few years ago, he said like, since you're not DJing, using your CDs, because now all my stuff is in the computer digital form. He says,
Yeah.
could he have the CDs? But I still am storing them in my closet in this plastic tub kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I should have gave it to him because I pretty much transferred everything that were on those CDs into my computer. And there was like some songs. It was some songs that I had that I didn't know the name, and then I heard them on the radio, and then with your phone you could say, "What song is this?" and the phone will listen to it, and then it will tell you. And so I got names of songs that I didn't know at the time. I just knew that it got people up dancing.
The difficult thing with digitizing all of your stuff is the idea of possibly losing it.
Yeah. Yes.
Whereas, you've got hard copy of all your stuff. So there's pros and cons to everything, but it
Yes.
is a lot easier these days. It's a lot simpler to just have everything digitized and in the cloud in a way because you're not carrying all that stuff with you. On the other hand, you don't have copyright abilities with digital stuff like you used to have with the even the record or CD. It's like you own that media at that point.
Yeah. And videos. I want to get rid of my videos, but I have all these Star Trek series,
Yeah.
audio described.
Oh, nice.
Now I know I can rebuy those again, and I think like Star Trek, since it's still popular, is probably like maybe $13, maybe $10. I don't think they'll
Yeah.
go under $5 like that. But it's like I spent all that money getting all of the whole series on VHS, and I still have a VHS player,
Wow.
right? And I was like, I just have a hard time, and I also have a reel-to-reel player as well. So
It's
it's just,
interesting because that material does degrade after a bit, but
yeah.
it is
Yeah.
interesting because it'd be cool to see what it does. Fire up an old reel to reel or firing up an old
Yeah.
VHS recorder and popping in a tape.
Well, we're doing that right now, and my partner got slowed down because he's refurbishing our website. But I'm having him transfer. When I first started in radio in high school as a host of this Youth Think magazine, so he's archiving that in digital form. but he needs to find like one of those hubs to fit in one of the big reels. And what I think I did was I transferred the smaller reels onto the big one. I just splashed them together. So I'm thinking like, well, maybe we could just roll it back onto the small reel, and that'll take time because you got to do it manually, and then just roll it back, and then do it that way. Take out the splice.
Let the old tech talk to the new tech and see what kind of fun stuff you come out of both
Oh
the tech.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. This is taking us down the memory lane of technology slamming, and the big thing about when they said that you transfer over to digital, they said you're losing quality, right? Because the MP3 is not
Yes.
as good as a CD quality and stuff like that. So that was a
Yes.
big thing too.
Yeah, you definitely do tend to lose quality, especially each time you compress a file, and then even though you unzip it and stuff, it's the same file, it's the same everything. It does tend to degrade over time as well, so it will sound differently in 6 months or a year. And then you've got different updates that are pushed as well that deal directly with sound. And so you've got something that wasn't programmed in let's just take 5.1 surround sound. That was the big thing for a while.
Yeah,
That's old news now. You've got different logic channels and different gates and different way things are now controlled, where you can dial all that stuff in without the software and the hardware that was necessary just 10 years ago. So technology and sound is just, man, it amazes me keeping up
right.
with all of it.
Yes. Now let's get on to furries.
Furries.
Now remember, like when you used to watch Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Joker. I think he wore makeup. Of course, Batman with the bat cowl. Robin, and when we were kids, me and my little brother, we were. I think my mother, she made us a bat cape, and we played like we were Batman and Robin, and we even at one time we bought the Batman cowl, which it must have meant not. It must have been for somebody who had a small forehead, because my forehead is longer than most. So it's sort of like belly fit, even as a kid. And so they made this cowl for a different type of head. It wasn't one size fit all, kind of thing.
All right.
And so we played that, and then we put that stuff away, and then we got over it. We went on. Well, I guess now in schools, girls and boys are walking around either coming to school with little cat ears and maybe little whiskers and
A tail.
with the tail and coming woof woof meow meow
Uh,
and the teachers are saying, now some of the teachers are saying this is disruptive and you have to do this on your own time. You can't bring this stuff to school with you. This and some schools are in complicit. It's complicit, and they
yeah.
are putting cat litter boxes in the girls' bathroom, or I'm not sure if boys come in as cats. I think that's maybe more a girl thing. And I'm thinking, so you got a pretty good sized girl getting into a dirt. What can I call? And she's scratching around like a cat, and she's depositing stuff that she. I've just got to picture this, and then sand comes out, of course, because humans are not as good as cats. Sand will come out, and so the janitor has to come and clean up this mess.
Well, that's job security. Everybody's happy because the person gets to express their spiritual affinity to the given animal that they choose. Now, I myself would love to identify as a sighted person
As a
and
what? What? I missed
drive
that.
a sighted person. I
Oh
myself
yes,
would love
okay,
to do that.
okay.
Go in there, identify as somebody who can see. My eyes work. All of a sudden, I can see out of them. And I think I'll just get a driver's license today. Look, I've even memorized the eye chart. I mean, I can see the eye chart. Sorry.
Yeah.
And, get the driver's license and go ahead and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You
And,
know,
and then when they say bump up, and somebody said, oh, and then they say, what was that? You know, because you have other blind passengers in the car with you. He said,
right?
hey,
That's
never mind, never
never mind.
mind.
Keep driving.
I used to know this girl that she would drive me around, and a car bumped into her, and I said, "What happened?" Because I felt the boom, you know. And
Right.
she says, "Hold on." So she gets out the car, and I don't want to hear "Hold on." I want to know what happened,
Yeah,
right?
we as a blind person, we love information. We have to have information. That's for sure.
Oh man, and I hate that, man. It's like, and I got rid of her as a friend, as a driver, because she was. And then I had this other lady. It was an older lady. I was like 38, and this older lady, she's like 59, and she was She said she wanted to be my driver, and she would have this road rage. And I'm up here. She said, I'm up here sleeping, trying to, she's taking me to work. I'm sleeping because I'm tired.
You wake
And
up, you're like frightened. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
and
we're
she's
gonna.
yelling and screaming at these people, and I'm thinking like, I have to get rid of her because I said it's like it's like something bad is going to happen with you yelling and screaming, and I didn't know if she had a gun in the glove compartment. And it's just so I don't know how I got off on this, but anyway, yeah, you continue with your story, identifying as a sighted person.
Well, I want to identify as a sighted person. That's all I got to say. I want to get my driver's license and get rolling. Hey, I do have a story about a furry really quick, and
Oh, okay.
we'll go from here. I was working as a telemarketer, and oftentimes, if you work as a telemarketer, you get these phones that have put some clever spam uh, blocking technology into play. So the telemarketer will often get voice on the other end that's not even there. It's not even a real person. So they're left talking to artificial intelligent, interactive kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, they're not even talking, they're wasting the company's time, is what they're doing.
Hmm.
So I got a situation where I called this place because we have names on a list, and I asked for a donation because I'm working that kind of job.
Hmm.
So I'm asking for a donation, and these guys, hey, where were you last night? I'm like, what? Who is this? Oh, this is Detective blah, blah, blah. You're the crime scene, blah, blah, blah. And there was some furry activity going. I'm like, furry activity? Furry activity, blah, blah, blah. We want to know where you're at, where you were last night. Because we have you on camera, blah, 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 furry activity, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, so I'm thinking at this time, it's a really good one. I mean, it's a really good one. The thing sounds real and everything. So I'm getting mad, on the job. I'm like, yeah. So I told him all kinds of crazy stuff. My boss comes over and she's like standing over my shoulder. And I happen to also be going deaf, and we're using headsets, and we have artificial speech. So it's already kind of distracting anyway.
Hmm.
So I didn't hear her come up and me telling this machine to basically go fly a kite. It was quite hilarious, man.
Right.
But the boss and I had a good laugh after, but she's like, yeah, you don't want to treat customers like that. And I'm like, that was not a customer. I don't know what that was.
Oh man, oh man. Let me tell you one more furry story. This guy named Johnny, he was a gangster, and the way he went blind was someone shot him in the face with a rifle, and the pellets go out, right? So that's how he became blind. But he still had that kind of gangster personality. I met him when he was like 40 years old, and I was probably 30 at the time. And there was this blind girl that she's never seen before, and she wanted to know how a black person's hair feels. So Johnny, being the player that he is, he says, "I'll let you see what my hair feels like if you let me see what another part of your anatomy feels like."
Wow.
And I'm looking at this because I had sight at the time, and I'm thinking like, what a sight! This nowhere but a blind institution would you see this blind girl filling his hair, and then Johnny doing whatever what he's doing.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, what a furry woolly kind of incident. But yeah, but anyway,
That's
that's
pulling the wool over somebody's eyes.
that's blind humor for you. But
There you go.
anyway,
But
John, yeah.
it's funny. Laugh. It's
But
funny. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
now, let's see. Before we get to should we get to the Florida thing, or should we get to the man that hated his ex-wife so bad that 5 years later he was doing things?
Well, we got to get to that one since you brought it up, right?
Yes. Well, this family, I guess this guy had an ex-wife, and she had died 5 years ago, and the family would go to the graveside, and they would say they would find like bags of excrement, or they would smell smells there.
I'm with you. I get my breakfast.
Oh, my wife says she's eating. So shall I let you finish the story, Ellen?
What you got going on is this guy is desecrating a gravestone, lack of better terminology. He is, doing his duty, which everybody does. Duty. I said duty.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, okay, so you hate somebody, they're dead. 5 years later, get over it.
You should be over it, moved on by then. I mean, I I couldn't imagine the self-talk that I would have with myself. Okay, it's time to get up. It's time to get dressed. It's time to go outside. It's time to get in my car. It's time to drive to the graveside. And it's time to urinate and defecate upon my person of the person that I hate. I mean, I just hate the person and move on. In fact, I
Wow.
don't hate anybody. It's actually best not to hate anybody. You know,
Yeah.
love your neighbor as yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength.
Yeah.
That's real.
I once knew this lady that she said that she hated her ex so much that she wanted to dig him up and kill him again. And I'm thinking like, well, what did he do? I mean, what did he do so bad that I mean, to take the time, dig him up, wipe the dust off his face, and then kill him again.
Yes,
So,
our and overlords at YouTube are going to love us. So we just want to say, no, we only think happy, cuddly thoughts around here. We can't help but laugh at some of the
oh,
stuff. Not very funny.
yeah. Now, let's go to Florida.
Okay.
And as we learned yesterday, Florida, they don't know what a four-way stop is. Well, not all of them, but some of them don't know what a four-way stop is when there's no electricity and no stop sign. Okay. Today, and you hate to hear about this stuff. You just went through a tragedy. People, refrigerators floated down the street. The furniture,
Vehicle. I was going to say,
albums, stuff. They might have came out of the house, and floated. The house is destroyed completely. And then the houses that are still up. You look at it, as a looter. I'm kind of getting into the mindset of a looter. You look at that house and you say, that house looks like it's pretty messed up. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to steal. Maybe I might find some jewelry. Maybe I might find a working TV set, or maybe I might find, who knows what they're thinking they might find. Well, I love Governor DeSantis' reasoning with these people, saying, remember, looters, Florida is a Second Amendment state. So that house that you think that is maybe vacant might have a surprise behind it. And that's a good thing. Because I think when that happened in New York, when it flooded, Florida isn't a Second Amendment, so looters got away with whatever. In some parts, even California, you can go into places and bust a glass and steal whatever you want and get away with it. But in Florida, you better think twice. And if you're willing to take the chance, it's on you.
I still contend as a blind person, we have nothing to protect us from any of this except for our prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that everybody should be on the same level playing field at all. I have great respect for the amendments to the United States Constitution, and the Second Amendment in particular helps to protect all of the other amendments. If we don't have free speech or free thought, um, and that's not like freedom to do what we want, because we have to have liberty.
Hmm.
Liberty also, in conjunction with freedom, helps us to have guardrails.
Hmm.
Liberty says you can operate in these things, but to this extent and this extent only. Whereas freedom just gives you the right to do whatever you want, whenever you want. And
Hmm.
nobody needs that. I mean, adult or child.
Yeah.
So we live within the law of liberty, and that law of liberty was given to us by, where our rights came from, by our Creator, by God.
Hmm.
So,
And
if you
so,
don't have a relationship with Him, it's good to get it, and if you
yeah.
do, it's good to cultivate it.
And remember, we are a constitutional republic. And someone famous once, well, I don't know if he was famous, but somebody in history once says, you have that as long as you can keep it, and it has to be a moral measure of people that can live under a constitutional republic. If people are immoral, it will not last. And we are certainly seeing that with a lot of left wing, alt left. I'm going to use that word because if you use it alt right, then it must be a alt left. People who are not paying attention and don't have moral Geiger counter, or should I say a moral
A
template
moral Geiger counter, a moral compass,
compass. Yes.
a telescope, something that any sort of device you want to use. Lord, Lord God, I mean, anything and everything at this point works, except for the stuff that we're doing to ourselves now. This
Hmm.
unity needs to be reconstituted where we believe certain common thing, all of us.
Okay. And as we end up the show today, Halloween is coming up, and
Yeah,
get ready to dress up as little furry things, cats and dogs. We haven't decided if we're gonna even. I think Halloween falls on a Monday, so I don't know. So is it gonna be that weekend, the 29th, 28th, or
I
no,
probably just
28th? Yeah.
celebrated the weekend and then into Monday, and yeah,
So
who knows?
So all you little furries out there, you get a chance to be a cat or a dog or a pig or who knows? Hey, the Trump mask was kind of popular when Trump was in. Is there going to be a Biden or Brandon? Oh,
There you
and in a couple of days, it was a year anniversary of the Brandon brand.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's coming up as well.
Yeah.
Folks, get ready for Christmas. Brandon was most famously going along with this spiel. Just last Christmas, he says, "I agree. Let's go, Brandon." Don't
Yes.
forget our president
Oh
on the
man.
train.
Yeah. So whatever you decide to dress up with, just be safe and don't dress people up unwillingly.
Or, oh, just kidding. Well, this is a kids show.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. So anyway, so all you cats and dogs out there, you remember that we don't use that word? Well, you probably don't. I don't remember that. It was used to be the way people call each other cats. Say, hey,
yeah, it's
cat.
cool, cat, right?
Yeah, or daddy-o and all that kind of stuff. But
Right.
anyway, that's another word of another time. So see you guys tomorrow. We'll have another fun topic for tomorrow.